The NASDAQ Composite was up 151 points, closing at 23,547. And the S&P 500 was up 42 points, closing at 6,945. Among companies of local interest were Apple, $262.36, Amazon, $240.93, Cisco, $75.23, Boeing, $229.84, Caterpillar, $623.09, Disney, $114.57, ExxonMobil, $121.05, First Energy, $44.84, Johnson & Johnson, $204.79, Home Depot, $349.29, Intel, $40.04, McDonald's, $302.77, Meta Platforms, $660.62, PNC Financial Services, $218.04, Raytheon Technologies, $190.40, Rockwell Automation, $413.36, Tesla, $432.96, Verizon, $40.30, Walmart, $114.34. Recapping, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 484 points, closing at 49,462. The NASDAQ Composite was up 151 points, closing at 23,547. The S&P 500 was up 42 points, closing at 6,945. From the Uniontown office of Janney Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC, where we serve all of your investment needs, this is Jeremy Hoover.
Think about the last time you thanked yourself for something. Maybe it was that me time you took last Tuesday, or finally learning Italian. Want to do something you'll really thank yourself for later? Start creating a plan for your financial goals today. State Farm agent Nathan Ferguson is right here in Uniontown to help you look at the things you want to save for and build a plan to set you up for success. The earlier you start planning, the better off you will be. Call State Farm agent Nathan Ferguson today, then thank yourself later. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Looking for a fireplace? Koval Building Supply at 40 Monroe Avenue in Uniontown is more than your plumbing supply store. We specialize in fireplaces of all fuel types, such as gas, wood, pellet, and electric. We're now featuring Harmon pellet stoves from Forge and Flame, perfect for keeping your family warm and cozy. Call Koval today at 724-437-8824 or visit kovalsupply.com to start planning for the winter season. Koval Building Supply, everything you need to make your house feel like home.
Ready, set, Ford. Thurby's Riverside Ford is pleased to announce the 2025 model year-end sales event going on now. If you've been waiting for the perfect time to upgrade your ride, this is it. For a limited time, get 0% APR for 60 months on some of Ford's most popular models. That's right, Explorer, F-150, Super Duty, Escape, and Transit vans, all with 0% for 60 months, no money down.
Looking for a great lease instead? We've got the deals for you and the inventory too. Lease a new 2025 Ford Bronco Sport Big Bend for $399 per month, or for just $499 per month, lease a new 2025 Ford Explorer Active, F-150, STX, or Bronco Big Bend. Offer valid for 36-month lease with 10,500 miles per year. Ford financing required. Tax and license extra. First payment due at sign.
It's all happening right now, but hurry in. These offers won't last long. Stop in and see Joey, Jimmy, Sammy, or Ashley at Thurby's Riverside Ford, your presidential award-winning dealer located 1 mile past the casino at Nemacolin.
Does the weather have you down? Are you tired of looking at the same old furniture day in and day out? Maybe you need one piece, or perhaps a room full. Chesler's Fine Furniture can work their magic for you. Chesler's offers the finest in name-brand home furnishings by famous makers and quality service to back up every sale. They have accent pieces that underline your sense of style. Bedroom suits by Vaughn Bassett, Legacy, Riverside, and Pulaski in many finishes and styles. There are living room suits by King Hickory, Craftmaster, Best Upholstery, and Lancer, each offering a distinct flair of comfort and design in many styles and fabrics. Sectionals in fabric and leather in both stationary and reclining. Chesler's has the largest selection of dinettes in your choice of wood and painted finishes. They have bedding in all sizes in stock. Chesler's Fine Furniture also offers genuine Lazy Boy recliners and living rooms for pure relaxing comfort. Delivery, layaway, and credit terms are available. It's a day that ends in Y, so it's a day that you might decide you don't want to cook. That means it's the perfect day to order Fat Angelo's. offering delicious pizzas, salads, hoagies, strombolis and calzones, wings, and more. And with 12 locations across the area ready to serve you, today is the day to visit FatAngelosPizza.com, where you can quickly and conveniently find your local shop and place your order online, or get the local phone number and give them a call. Order up!
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
Another chance to win big with WNBS and the PA Lottery starts Thursday. Just be the sixth caller to 724-438-4593 when you hear and win $31 $500 a week for life PA Lottery scratch-off tickets. With the Pennsylvania Lottery's new $500 a week for life scratch-off, the $500 doesn't just happen this week. It happens week after week after week. Benefits older Pennsylvanians, must be 18 years or older. Please play responsibly.
It's the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station, WNBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk producing the show today. Our first show for 2026. And since we have our first guest on about every day and a half, we thought might as well start off the new year, even though sometimes it's hard to figure what to talk to Thane Rosenbaum about. But we certainly do have issues these days. And joining us right now on the Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum. Thane, first off, Happy New Year to you, sir. How are you?
Happy New Year to you, Doug, and to Nick. I'm fine. I'm happy to hear that I'm among your first guests as you roll out 2026.
And we promise we won't have you on again until the next time we have you on. I think that's a fair way to look at it, I suppose. But certainly the trial of the year is kicking off at the beginning of the year, I suppose. It's not often that a world leader, a country's president, prime minister, dictator, whatever you want to call him, comes to trial in the United States. It's happened before, but it's pretty rare, is it not?
Well, we did it with General Noriega, the Panamanian leader. But of course he was not officially the president. Donald Trump would say neither is the Venezuelan president officially. But that case, of course, there was no internet in those days. It just didn't receive the same amount of attention. Also, the drug trade was not in our minds. You know, the only thing people associated at that time with drug trade was Miami Vice. Just to go back in time to think, today everyone's talking about fentanyl and cocaine and the trafficking. And, if you didn't see Miami Vice or watch Scorsese's, De Palma's Scarface, you didn't really know what it was about. That was what the culture understood. Today, everyone understands because so many people have had losses, family members. So now we're using the words narco-terrorism, not just drug trafficking. We have a whole new term because we know that if you use the word terrorism, people pay more attention. So this case, for a number of reasons, is going to get a lot of play. Among other things, a wife is involved. Number one. Number two, there was an indictment against Maruda since 2020. And, Donald Trump's position is you had a date in our courtroom, and we couldn't figure out how to get you here. And so the Justice Department asked the military for a favor, go get you. And that's interesting because the way Donald Trump kept framing it is this is the greatest military, operation of all time. And if I was his lawyer, I would have said, stop saying that. You want to say this is an extradition. And the FBI and the DEA can't pull this stuff off. You have to bring in special forces to pull this off. We are not invading another country. We're not looking for regime change. That's not our purpose. Our purpose is to end the drug trade and hold the person principally responsible for it. But, Donald Trump is off to the races, and now we're hearing he's in charge. Now we're hearing that, that we're going to stay and we'll decide when the transition is appropriate.
Yeah, there seems to be some, I wouldn't say disagreement, but differing thoughts between him and Secretary of State Marco Rubio as to whether or not we're running Venezuela at this point. So that's interesting. That's different than this, of course, the hearings. Now, let me ask you a question. Where does someone like Maduro get an attorney? For instance, who represented him at the first hearing that was held? Is this?
Well, Doug, we didn't know if Maduro would have a lawyer. I was sitting there waiting to do reporting on this in that morning, and at the time there was no word that he had an attorney, and he certainly would have known enough to say, I'm going to keep my mouth shut until I have one. But, look, he's a wealthy man, according to, America essentially saying part of the indictment is apparently a treasure trove of evidence showing that he was, as if he was the kingpin of this drug trade, as if the cartels answer to him. His argument is going to be, are you kidding? I was invaded by my own people. I didn't have any control. The cartels run these countries, not me. Thank you for getting me out of there. But apparently that's not going to do well because he benefited from it. He used the military to assist them. He did everything he could to be a full participant. So I'm not surprised. There is a elite criminal defense bar that does white-collar stuff. There are not that many of them. And he found one of them, and and I'm sure there were others that wanted the job.
And I have a feeling they're making that pretty good by the hour. I would hope that they. Well,
just so your audience, in case Nick will probably collapse at this point. My guess is that he required a $10 million retainer. That's my guess.
Bad.
That my guess is before we say a word, I need $10 million in cash. And then I'll start billing, and you'll get another bill. But this is how we start off.
Yeah, it reminds me back in the day. My former boss, Arlen Specter, long before he was a U.S. senator, between his time as DA in Philadelphia, offered to represent Richard Nixon in the impeachment trial, and he said, "I'll do it only if you stay in that trial to the very end. Don't cut a deal." And Nixon wouldn't agree to that. So Specter said, "Okay, I'm not going to be your counsel." So, wow. Yeah, it's if you're going to take on a case like that, you're not going to do it on the cheap.
Yeah, no, that's a great anecdote. I can't believe you held that one back. Did Nick know about that one? That was good.
I don't think Nick. Did you know that one, Nick? That Specter was
going to be
Nick may have walked
I completely
you walked out into the production room. That's
a really great Doug Saltzman and Specter anecdote. I would not have known that. People forget how involved Specter was in the Anita Hill hearings with Clarence Thomas. People forget, Clarence Thomas is now, I think, the oldest person on the court, but there was a time that he was very, very young, and he was a controversial pick. And your guy in the Senate, I don't know if you were working for him at that very moment, were you?
I was, yes.
Oh, my God. That must have been incredible to be there at that moment, because Specter was pretty hard on Anita Hill.
Yeah, it's interesting. And he admitted publicly that with 2 votes, he upset the entire electorate by voting for Clarence Thomas and voting against, I can't think of his name. He was a Supreme Court Justice nominee of George H.W. Bush.
George, you're talking about Bork.
Bork, yeah, Robert Bork. So he voted against Bork and for Clarence Thomas, and with those 2 votes, alienated the entire electorate. He said.
And I'm sure that's true. And but it made me realize that sometimes you see a legislator who had been a lawyer or prosecutor with real skills. Many of them were prosecutors, but they have no real skills. Specter always held himself out as a guy who was a really good lawyer, and I think he was demonstrating it that day. He was showing off. He was showing, I'm good at this. Oh. And you were probably right there, sitting behind him.
Yeah, it's sort of fascinating to watch that come about, and almost cost him his career in 1992 a woman running against him. That was the entire campaign with
I bet.
Anita Hill. And
Well, but also it
this is
explains
way off
why.
topic.
Yeah, but let me just say, it explains why Nixon would have reached out to him.
Right. And this is way off topic, but it's sort of interesting. When that woman ran against Specter in 1992, a Democrat, she showed a lot, in her commercial, she showed a lot of video of the Anita Hill hearing.
I bet.
But
yeah,
zero audio. Because
so what they wanted the visual of a man beating up on a woman.
Right, and he was actually respectful of Anita Hill, and so they could say that he was mean and disrespectful and all that, but there was no audio to back that up. So it was sort of interesting.
That is a great anecdote. Yeah.
Wow. Not one bleep of audio, all video in those commercials that they ran against Specter. Well, back to this hearing. What are we looking at a timeline? This is not going to be quick, is it?
Unless he accepts a plea deal. I mean, if he could, if he were to say, he won't. If he were to say, you gave Noriega 22 years. I understand I could get way worse than that. Now we're throwing in terrorism charges. God knows what that'll do. Give me 22 years. Now remember, Noriega went from here in the United States for 2 years, and then spent another 8 years in a prison in France. Right? I mean, so his entire life ended up being in jail. So my guess is that this is one of the reasons why we had Guantanamo Bay when it came to Patriot Act cases, and we treated them as military commissions rather than civilian trials. And why? Well, because you wanted to keep it out of the public view, because we knew that the 9/11 terrorists wanted a platform to rail against the United States. And so one of the reasons why, there were a lot of reasons. It's an easier case to win in military commissions. There's, rules of evidence are very different. Standard of proof is different. Your capacity to consult with your lawyer is different. It's not as good. So you really want a military commission if you're the government. But another reason was we didn't want to give, in Foley Square here in New York, we didn't want to give, the main architects of 9/11 a platform. And I'm sure that's what he wants. I'm sure he wants to have his opportunity to talk to the world. How is it that I am a sovereign leader of a sovereign country and I was kidnapped? Where does that happen? Kidnapped out of my home and brought to the United States and sitting in a jail. That argument is honestly being made by the Democratic Socialists of America today.
Yeah. The connection, I suppose, is one way, or not a connection, but what Maduro has that Noriega did not is his wife also being on trial. Would he use that as cut my wife a deal, or cut my wife a break, and I'll commit to a longer sentence? I mean, would he do that for his wife?
Well, that's in terms. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go right ahead. I think
you're onto something.
I was stumbling through there. Go ahead.
Yeah, your audience should know. What you just nailed, the main reason, which is whenever a spouse is brought along, it's not that they're, in the case of the Rosenbergs, they really had no evidence against Ethel Rosenberg. Whatever they had was against Julius, and at that time it wasn't even that great. There wasn't much evidence. They had nothing. She was there for leverage. And so clearly the same idea. You bring in the wife for leverage. Even, Senator Menendez, in that case with his wife, she was really an active participant. In fact, he threw her under the bus. He said she was the one that was responsible for dealing with all of these businessmen from Egypt. I thought I was just dealing with constituent affairs, the stuff that Doug Saltzman, knows how to do. So he threw his own wife under the bus. But my guess is the evidence seems to suggest that she was somewhat of a player, maybe the brains of the operation, but she had direct contacts with the cartels, received monthly payments apparently from the cartels. She was not just a stand by my man housewife. She was very much involved in this, and that's really what the case is about. The Trump administration, the Justice Department, is going to say, stop referring to yourself as a head of state. You are not the head of state. You are a racket. You are the head of a racketeering enterprise that was involved in the drug trade, and you ended up taking over a country with that. But that's who you are, and you're not going to be treated any differently than any other criminal.
Yeah. And I guess these sort of kill orders or capture orders have been done on both sides of the aisle. How does this compare to, say, Osama bin Laden's capture and other things, other like that? Is this within comparison, or are we talking a different situation? Because one was the leader of a terrorism organization, Al Qaeda. The other one claims to be the president of a country. Are there comparisons?
At a moment like this is my favorite anecdote right now. My favorite anecdote right now is for the democratic socialists or people on the left or people who are Democrats who have a real problem with this. I just want you to know that the darling of your party, it was for many years my party as well, the darling of your party, Barack Obama, ordered a drone strike to kill an American citizen in Yemen, Anwar al-Awlaki. He was radicalizing Islamists around the world through his YouTube videos and sermons. He was safely ensconced in Yemen, and he was the number one guy that, when you were radicalizing Muslims, that's who he was, the go-to guy. So Obama ordered a drone strike and took out this young guy with American passport. And the guy's father is still in Arizona. And he's saying, what the hell was that about? How is that possible that my son is an American citizen and the president ordered a hit against him and no one seems to be upset about it? So let's just say that when it comes to national security, there's a lot more latitude than we're told or that we're led to believe. It's not obvious that this is a violation of international law because there are so many examples. As you said, there were people who said, how can you assassinate Osama bin Laden? Why wouldn't you just bring him here to trial? They never attempted to they were there. The helicopters were ready to go. They didn't have to shoot him. They had orders to shoot him. Similarly, Saddam Hussein, we pulled him out of a hole, right? He was literally hiding in a hole. And let's not forget the Israelis who kidnapped Adolf Eichmann in Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1963. And Argentina, even though he was an Argentine citizen, although he was born in Germany, Argentina went to the UN and said, this is outrageous. The Israelis kidnapped one of our citizens. Yes, he may have been at Auschwitz. He may be the architect of the Holocaust, but he's one of ours. You can't just kidnap him and take him to Israel. And that was forgot how long that trial took place. He was found guilty. He's the only person the Israelis have ever executed for a crime. But again, there were people who said, how dare you, kidnap someone, not even a foreign leader, just a regular citizen, and take him to your country.
Yeah. We've been talking with Thane Rosenbaum, giving us an extended interview today on the Afternoon Drive Show. Thane, thanks so much. This is obviously, we'll have a topic to talk about for quite some time. This is not going to be a quick trial. We'll be no doubt back in touch. Thanks for being our first guest of 2026. Your insight is
nice
always
to know.
Fascinating.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Alrighty, thanks. Thane Rosenbaum joining us here on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk to Rich Fitzgerald, Executive Director of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission. He was scheduled to be with us in mid-December. He had to cancel. He felt bad, but he promised to come back on our first day back, and he kept his word. So we'll talk to him coming up. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive Show on WMBS.
Ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
Experiencing symptoms of COPD? Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale has been selected to conduct a clinical research study, and participants are needed. All study-related care will be provided at no cost, and no health insurance is required. Compensation up to $2,200 for qualified participants for time and travel. To learn more, call Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281. That's Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281. A Best in Fayette winner for tires and automotive service, Tireman's Auto Garage has the cheapest prices in town on new and used tires. They are also top automotive specialists for any car, any repair, offering diagnostic service, alignments, oil changes, state inspections, batteries, brakes and rotors, and more. The holidays are coming. That means cold weather and snow. Be ready. Be safe with new tires from Tireman's Auto Garage, where you'll find the lowest prices in town. Plus, ACIMA and Snap leasing available. If you've been past Tireman's recently, you've seen golf carts on the roof. Tireman's has a variety of 2, 4, and 6-seater golf carts, gas or electric, available for purchase with financing available. Interested in renting a golf cart? Call 724-425-9606 and ask about rentals. Or stop in and see Kim or Joe at Tireman's Auto Garage on Mill Street in Uniontown. Happy holidays from Kim and Joe at Tireman's Auto Garage, a Best in Fayette place for tires and auto service. If you are looking for a trusted local law firm with a strong commitment to their clients, look no further than Zebley Law Offices. Attorney Zebley has been practicing law in Fayette County for more than 4 decades. Although specializing in bankruptcy, Zebley also handles real estate matters, civil suits, collections, wills, powers of attorney, and more. If you need legal help, go with a name you recognize and trust. Call Zebley Law Offices today at 724-439-9200.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles, and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
We have a special guest coming up here in a moment. By the way, welcome back to the Afternoon Drive Show, our first show of 2026. But when it comes to breaking news, of course, especially when it's related to NFL and vaguely connected to the Steelers, how about this? On NFL.com, a missed 44-yard field goal on the final play of the 2025 regular season will mark the end of one of NFL's longest tenured head coaches. The Baltimore Ravens are firing John Harbaugh after narrowly failing to clinch the AFC North and a playoff spot, and with it, his 18th season with the team. That, according to NFL insiders Ian Rappaport, Mike Garofalo, and Tom Pelissero. So that is news. You miss the playoffs by a kick, and you get fired. I think he'd still have his job. You were right, Nick. He'd still have his job if that kid had made that kick, I suppose. But wow, that's tough. Let you go after 18 years because you missed it by one field goal. So obviously more to come on that one. But joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hotline, he was scheduled to join us in mid-December, but he had to cancel. He felt bad. He said, I'll be on your show first thing next year. He kept his word. Executive Director of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, Rich Fitzgerald. Rich, you're not the first guest of 2026, but the second one. I hope that's okay. How are you, by the way? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I feel very honored, and boy, that is good. Unbelievable breaking news. You're right, right ahead of that. But I am delighted to be on as the director of the SPC, because for the first time in I don't know how many years, the chairman of the SPC is a Fayette County commissioner. Vince DeCides is the chair now and will be for the next 2 years.
Yeah, I think there has to be, sports has the Elias Sports Bureau to get information, but I think we need an Elias SPC Bureau to figure out when the last time a Fayette County Commissioner was chairman of the SPC. And with it, of course, and we had Commissioner DeCides on. He's a regular guest on our show. We had him on just before the holidays. And I said, so a lot more work and no more pay. And he said, yeah, that's about it. But it's a great opportunity for him, an enormous opportunity for the county and for the whole southwestern Pennsylvania region. Vince knows his stuff. He's been around a long time on transportation issues.
He really does, and he really is an expert in infrastructure and roads, bridges, development, those type of things. You know, obviously a lot of experience, and he's been active within the SPC, knowing how the funding works, and you know how going to Harrisburg and going to Washington really is how you get the type of transportation dollars, because you just don't have enough locally through your county budget or even the local municipal budget to be able to provide some of the massive amounts of money needed for some of the roads and bridge projects we have in this region.
Yeah, one of the first times I met Commissioner Vacides, I was working for Senator Arlen Specter at the time, and I was at a meeting of an organization called the Montfayette Expressway Association, efforts to get the Montfayette Expressway built. And of course, the first part of it was built in Fayette County, in Washington County, and then eventually, when West Virginia gave up their border, we got it on the route Interstate 68. But projects like that take a lot of work. They don't just happen, and that's the sort of thing that allows transportation money to flow into a region, that you have people pushing to get it done, but you have to do it cooperatively. You're just not going to have one county winning that type of money, correct?
Well, that's exactly right, and having the commissioner there will obviously have a lot of clout in Washington and Harrisburg, not just for Fayette County, but for folks in southwestern Pennsylvania. I mean, we've seen, and you served over the years, and what having a transportation chairman like Congressman Schuster years ago, and both Schusters actually were able to bring an awful lot of resources into this region, as did Senator Specter and Congressman Murtha, people like that, Congressman Doyle, who when they built up some seniority and some chairmanships, were able to do some things to really benefit the region.
Yeah. Folks have heard of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, of course. It's been around a long time, but you brought a lot more attention to it, and I think in a very positive way. So folks may have heard of it. Take a moment, though, and give us that. You're riding in an elevator, and somebody says, what's the SPC? Tell folks what it is so they may have a better understanding of it.
Well, to get federal dollars for transportation, you have to have a metropolitan planning organization. Every place in the country has one. Ours in southwestern Pennsylvania is called the SPC, the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission. It's the 10-county region made up of all the county commissioners. Each county has 5 members on the commission, and including the city of Pittsburgh gets 5 members on the commission. So it's, in essence, 11-member entity. And they work together to, in essence, put their plan together to say, look, our folks in Washington, to our Harrisburg delegation, and the folks at the Department of Transportation, and including in Harrisburg with PennDOT, these are the needs, these are the desires of this region as far as transportation dollars and investments that we want to see. Obviously, we have a lot of bridges in our neck of the woods. Hills are beautiful. Rivers and streams are wonderful. We love the beauty of it, but you got to put a bridge over it in many cases, and those bridges cost a lot of money, and that money does come from the federal government. And it is when the SPC does puts a tip together, tip being the Transportation Improvement Plan every couple of years. That is the official document that goes to Washington, that goes to Harrisburg to say these are our priorities and this is what we want to have funded.
And the members of the commission, Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, it's somebody from every county and the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh, correct?
That is correct. So every county has 5 members. So whether it's one of the small counties like Greene or Armstrong, they have 5 members. The city of Pittsburgh has 5 members. The Allegheny County, the biggest county, also has 5 members. So and the governor has a few members as well, the state. So what it typically is, Doug, is the 3 county commissioners make up the 5-member body, and then they typically have their planning director and possibly a business person or an economic development director, somebody that the chairman of the county commissioners gets to appoint for that term.
Right, and of course, some people say, "Oh, the city of Pittsburgh has their own." Well, that's the center of this region, and and folks say, "Oh, we're always swung by what happens in the city." I'm like, "Well, that's life. You're going to have, a major city in a region, and it's going to have a positive or negative impact on the area, and it depends in many cases who the mayor is. And I think that's a good transition right now. I'm sure you were at the inauguration yesterday of Mayor Corey O'Connor, and even though obviously he's not the mayor of Uniontown, where our station's located, or in Fayette County, a mayor of a major metropolitan city in this region has a role that's really bigger than the city itself in many cases, right? He is the representative of this corner of the state. And when someone's out of town and they say, "Where are you from?" You say, "I'm from Pittsburgh." If people don't know Uniontown or Fayette County, I suppose. But it's a bigger role, really, than just the city mayor, isn't it?
Well, you're 100% right, and you said it very well. I mean, you think about, somebody from out of town. If you live in Waynesburg or Uniontown or Connellsville, where do you say you're from? You say you're from Pittsburgh because you're rooting for the Steelers, you're rooting for the Pirates, the black and gold, as Pittsburghers. And a lot of the major cultural amenities are also located in Pittsburgh. When you think about the opera, the symphony, the Pittsburgh Zoo, these things are located in the heart of the region. And obviously some of the big bridges that we have, the Fort Duquesne Bridge, the Fort Pitt Bridge over the parkways, and that connect onto the interstates. Those big bridges are they're in the city, but they really are for the entire region. It's almost like the airport. We talk about Pittsburgh International Airport. It says Pittsburgh, but it's really the entire region of what it is. So yes, the city of Pittsburgh has a population of roughly 300,000, maybe a little bit more than that, in a region of 2.5 million. So that's a little less than 1/8 of the population. But as you said, the mayor certainly has a bigger voice than somebody who represents 1/8 of the population. It sets the tone for a lot of the image of what goes on in Pittsburgh. I mean, you think about our universities, and University of Pittsburgh and Carnegie Mellon University have been such drivers in the eds and meds and robotics and AI industry that really benefits the entire region, but again, happen to be located in the heart of the region, the urban core, which obviously is the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Matt, the first time I met now the new mayor of Pittsburgh, Corey O'Connor, I was at some family event. A lot of folks were there. His dad was there, Bob O'Connor. My gosh, this was now, 30 years ago. And his dad said, because he knew me from Spector's office, he said, "Hey, Doug, will you keep your eye on my son for a moment, please?" So here, I don't know, what was he, 10 or 11 years old? I'm watching Corey O'Connor, who would think at the time that he would later become mayor of Pittsburgh. And he almost looks that young these days. Good for him, looking so young. But it's a big task. But he seems to have the background for it, being county controller and understanding finances. That's as important as anything almost in a city, a mayor of a large city, is just understanding how the financial end of the job works, I suppose.
It really does. And you're right. I mean, Corey he's in his early 40s, but he has a lot of experience. And I, being that I kind of live in the same neighborhood as Mayor O'Connor and his father before him, before I was even in politics, I kind of learned from Bob O'Connor when Bob was a city councilman, and then he became the mayor. And like you, sitting there at the coffee shop when I'd sit there and have these discussions with Bob was 12-year-old, 13-year-old Corey O'Connor, who was just soaking it all in. And the one thing I noticed about Corey that was very similar to his dad, and it's something that I learned, was you show up, you go places. You don't just send your staff all the time. The folks want to see you. The voters want to see you, whether to ask for something or, quite frankly, complain about something. And Bob was always drove that into all of us to say, hey, you got to get out there and you got to face the people. You got to go see the people. And I learned that lesson, and I think it helped me when I became county executive. And I certainly know Corey has taken up that same mantle. Corey's a people person. He goes to a lot of places. And like you said, he's got some experience. He worked in Congressman Doyle's office right out of college. Then he was a 3-term city councilman in the city of Pittsburgh, so he certainly understands the city issues and the city budget. And then he became county controller. Governor Wolf appointed him when there was a vacancy in that office as county controller, so that gave him again, a little more of a broader vision of how the county and the city work together. So he's got some federal background, he's got some city background certainly, and then county. So, and you're right, the finances are one of the things. Budgets, what do governments do? Their budgets are really a document showing that what their values are and how much money we have to spend and how much money we're able to raise in revenue. And I think that experience is going to do him well.
Yeah, and it's always the follow-up, too. A lot of politicians are good at that, making that eye contact during the conversation and listening to the person. But they've got an issue, man, you better make sure your staff follows up. That was always the hard and fast rule of the folks I've worked for over the years. Our inspector, Mike Fisher, at one point when he was in the state Senate, like, you better follow up on this. The senator can't remember everything, or the mayor can't remember everything. That's what people want. They want that follow-up. If there's a guardrail missing on a dangerous corner and somebody brings it up at a town hall meeting, there better be somebody from Public Works there within a week to take a look at it. That's, I think, the key at times is making that contact, but then the follow-up is so important. Make the trains run on time, get the garbage picked up, fill the potholes. I think that's more important to people at times in a city like Pittsburgh than most other things, perhaps. Just make things work. You need those worker bees around you to get things done, I suppose.
Well, there's no question, and you said something very well. That staff, you really rely on your staff to follow up, and I think Corey's he's hired some really experienced people who know their way around, and folks I've worked with over the years as chief of staff, to be Dan Gilman. Dan was a councilman and was one of those people that did follow up. And you're right. When it's your issue on your street in front of your house, that's the issue that needs to be dealt with, not these big, giant, overarching issues that sometimes get debated in the media. Who's going to pick up my garbage? Who's going to fill that pothole on our street? Who's going to make sure that our playground in my neighborhood is well? And those are the kind of basic bread and butter issues that really matter. And if you heard or read some of what Mayor O'Connor said yesterday, he really talked about the basics, getting back to basics, public safety, permitting, getting things done quickly, getting things to say yes. Let's deal with the potholes, let's deal with the bridges, let's deal with the infrastructure, and make sure that these things for people's quality of life in the neighborhoods really matter. And I think even today, his first executive order saying, look, we got to get these permits done quickly. We can't let people be, out there not knowing if they're going to get approval for a deck they're going to put on their house or a business that wants to locate in one of our business districts, et cetera. So I think he heard a lot of that probably throughout the campaign and even before that. And I think he wants to deliver on exactly what people want to see.
Yeah. We're talking with Rich Fitzgerald, Executive Director of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, now chaired by Fayette County's own, for the next 2 years, Commissioner Vince Vasidis. Rich, thanks so much. You're a man of your word. You felt bad when you had to cancel. Busy time right before the holidays as the year wraps up. But as promised, you came right on our first show of the new year. So we really do appreciate that. Look forward to talking to you in the future, too.
We'll be doing that, and I'm sure Vince is going to be doing a lot of good things, not just for Fayette County, but really for all of us here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Have a good night. Take care.
Thank you. Rich Fitzgerald joining us on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line. Nick, we have high school basketball coming up. What's going on?
Yes, Doug, we have a C.R. Parado Group High School Sports Night, Sprouse Insurance Group pregame right after the news at 6:15, and then our radio game, Gateway at Uniontown at 7, with the radio and video coverage on YouTube, and then Laurel Highlands at Albert Gallatin with video coverage of that on Facebook starting at 7:30, and we'll join in on the radio after the Uniontown game wraps up. Then we have college basketball after that, Texas Tech, Houston. So a busy night of round ball, Doug.
Yes, it is a busy night of round ball. You broke up there for a moment. I'm doing the show remotely today. Are we doing news at 6, or are we going right to the pregame for basketball?
Yes, we have news at 6.
There we go. So that's a wrap for the afternoon drive show. Short show today because of basketball. We'll be with you tomorrow for 3 hours. Nick, you better prepare. I'll be in studio 3 hours tomorrow. I hope you can handle that. But we
wear a shirt,
you're listening. We appreciate you listening tonight, folks. As Nick mentioned, CBS News is next, followed by local news, followed by high school basketball pregame. Stick around. Thanks, folks. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
Get ready to make your new year a winner with Live Casino's $100,000 cash blowout drawing. Earn entries daily starting January 1st and join our action-packed drawings on January 30th and 31st. You could start your year off with a share of $100,000 in cash and free play prizes. How's that for a happy new year? Come rake it in at Live Casino, Route 30 at Westmoreland Mall. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Jason Brady, the owner of Brady's Rad Cafe, the new restaurant in Uniontown Mall near JCPenney's. Join us for our selection of unique burgers and hot dogs, steak and meatball hoagies, and more. Always fresh and made right here by friendly people in a welcoming throwback atmosphere at Brady's Rad Cafe. No frozen fast food, always fresh and fun at Brady's Rad Cafe in Uniontown Mall near JCPenney's.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Celebrate the season at Rich Farms Lightscapes with 2 magical ways to enjoy festive family fun this Christmas. Sundays through Thursdays, cruise through dazzling light displays from the comfort of your car, just $20 per carload. Then, Fridays and Saturdays, enjoy holiday nights at the farm. For $19 a person, walk through the lights, visit Santa, decorate and take home your own live Christmas tree, and so much more. Rich Farms opens nightly at 5 p.m. For details, visit Lightscapes at Rich Farms on Facebook.
When you are looking to make some extra cash for your aluminum cans, visit Cherokee Recycling, where aluminum can is king. Cherokee Recycling is open Monday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturdays 8 to 12 noon, closed Sundays and holidays. Give Marcus or Braggs a call today, 724-439-3228 for Cherokee Recycling, where recycling makes the most sense.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has 2 convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Borges.
For funeral services from pre-need to at-need, burial or cremation, call Gates Funeral Home and Crematory, located at 136 North Gallatin Avenue in a beautifully restored historic home. Family-owned